Otake from maxworkouts.com. I'm here today to actually talk about one exercise that we haven't talked about in a while, and that's the deadlift. We've talked about how important the squats is. We've gone through some demonstrations of squats, how deep you need to go, and how beneficial that is. Last week we even talked about the one-legged squat and how beneficial that is to strengthen your glutes and protecting your joints such as your knees and ankles. But we really haven't gone into talking about the deadlift and the importance of it. One of the major reasons why it's so important is that it is one of the major, if not the only exercise that really activates and stimulates your extensors. We're so concerned about doing the flexor, which is generally, flexing your hip, such as from the squats, and that engages your quads, your glutes, but really, we haven't really talked about engaging your hamstrings, glutes, and your lower back, which is ultimately what is going to help you balance out what you would do with the squats. So in order to have a well-rounded program, you need to be able to do squats as well as deadlifts. So today I want to talk about deadlifts. Again, going into the activation of your hamstrings, your glutes, and your lower back, which are what we call your extensors. Those are the three big muscles that are required for all types of sports, such as running. Pretty much any sport, anything involves running, right? I mean, even skating actually involves extension. And that's what I'm talking about, is hip extension, right? Extension of the hips. Extension of the hip comes from the glutes first, then your hamstrings, then your lower back. And so all three of those muscles have to be engaged properly in order for you to be able to extend properly, to run, to jump, to skate, and so forth. So again, that's a sort of an explanation of why it is and so important for us to do some deadlifts. I'm going to go and show you some important points for your technique to be able to do the deadlift properly. It's super important for you to be able to do the technique properly because it is low back intensive. For anyone that has low back issues, which I know a lot of people do, this is something that you should do, but you should do it very progressively, safely. Start off at really light weights and slowly progress up into heavier weights, but it will strengthen your back. Me personally, it's helped me a lot strengthen my lower back from years of doing it. So I have a light bar, just a bar, 45 pound, and I'm standing right in front of it. You're going to pick it up. I usually use an alternate grip, one underhand, one overhand. I find that to be the easiest way, the most comfortable way for me to be able to do it. Your feet should be about shoulder width apart, shoulders back, chest up. The first place that you're going to break from is going to be from your hips, not the knees. So you're going to break from the hips. See, I'm going to bend forward from the hips, bend over from the hips, slightly bend my knees and come on down to about mid-shin position right here. See, the bar is right above the dorsum of my feet, and it's pretty much touching my shin. This is the beginning part of the deadlift. And from here, keeping your lower back straight, you're going to slowly bring the bar up into full extension. Okay, let me do that again. Come on down. So this is very different from a squat. What a lot of people will do is this. This is a no-go. This is just like a squat. You want to make sure that your hip or your butt is up in the higher in the air. Your lower back is straight. Your chest needs to be over the bar. In this position, you're not going to be able to pull the weight up because your knees are in the way and your chest isn't over the bar. Here, the chest is over the bar. You'll be able to pull up all the way into full extension. In this extended position, I don't want you to hyperextend. That's not going to do any good. In fact, that'll irritate your lower back. You don't need to shrug. You need to just keep a neutral position with your shoulder blades back and your abs tight. Key points to remember. The first place that you're going to bend is from your hips. Your butt is out, your knee is slightly bent. The angle of my shin is it's not a very steep angle, not like a squat, right? The squat is a much steeper angle. The angle of my shin is not that steep. This is a good position. Butt is high, not down. Butt is high, your lower back is straight, abs are tight. The shoulder blade should be right above the bar. So if you can imagine where my shoulder blade is, it should be right above the bar. Then you're going to pull up, and then come on down. Pull up, and again, pull up, and down. One more thing to keep in mind. When you're initiating the pull, really engage your abdominals. We've talked about this before, but out of probably all the exercises, this is where it really requires you to brace your abdominals. When I mean brace your abdominals, you know, we've talked about this before. Pretend as if someone is going to punch you in the stomach, and you really have to brace it. That's the position you need to be in when you start the deadlift. Another place that you want to engage is your lats, your latissimus dorsi. You want to contract your lats, brace your stomach, come on down into the beginning of a deadlift, right? So this is the position you want to be in. You should have good stretch in your hamstrings, definite stretch in your butt as you come on up, full extension, and I know it's only the bar, but for those of you who have never done the deadlift, it's really important to start off light until you get a really good feeling, get the groove down, the pattern down, slowly progress your way up until you can get to a heavier weight. So try it out.